Hi, this is Rachelle with Journal Life's Journey. I have a Amazon package here, another Amazon package. I have this one too, but we'll get to it another time. So I just barely kind of put this together, and these folds somewhat formed on their own. And I thought that maybe that was a fluke, but I had the same thing happen here. Okay, so I have a specific purpose for this. I want to make one of those cluster journals that I saw on Shabby Dabby Doodah. I will link to that video in the description box below. However, I want to be able to house them traveler's notebook style, and since I had this package that is big enough, I decided I could use this to do what I need to do. To begin with, I think I want to have 3 or 4 elastics on the ends. I'll probably end up with 4 elastics on the inside, and then my cluster books will have a Halloween book, I'll have a Christmas book, and then I'll have other, which will just be vintage and maybe a few other holidays mixed in. Then possibly in between, I want to have pockets for ephemera, maybe something on the cover, front and back as well, to hold ephemera. Now this is big, and I don't really care for big things, but because the cluster paper is actually just a 12 by 12 folded in half, which makes it a 6 by 12, I needed something big to hold that. That's why we're going big today. This is actually probably 18. Yep, it's about 18 by probably 14. Yes. So I'm going to keep the height. And I don't know if I need to trim this end off where I opened it. Oops. So I don't know if I need to trim this end off where I opened it. I think we can just use the full length. I want each cover to be at least 7 inches. So I'm just going to score and ignore the natural fold that happened when I kind of just bent this. But this is like the natural fold that just happened. So I'm going to ignore that for now. And just kind of see where the score is going to land me. Okay. So what if I do 7.5? So that's going to give me a whole 1.5 inches more than I need. Okay, let's do 7.25 and see what that looks like. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. All right. That's not working. All right, so I could probably make it work, but I don't want to put a hole in the packaging, so I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way and measure it. 7.25. Seven and a quarter. All right. Then I'm going to take the ruler. Probably should have did this on the other side. Let's do it on the other side. Oh no, 7.25. If I do that, that's going to give me like a 3-inch spine. Yikes. Maybe I need to trim some of this off. Do I need that big of a spine? I guess it's not that much different from what I already folded it at. Let's just go with it. That's so big. 3.5-inch spine? Really? Okay. See what it looks like. I just don't like things being super big. I think that's just entirely too big. So this side is actually folding on the natural fold. So this is what we're looking at. That's too big. But maybe I will need all of that space. But then I'm thinking when I bring it to put on my desk, it's just going to be huge. But I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it. So just go on and burnish it in. And I don't think I'm going to put anything to reinforce the spine. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue stick here just to kind of close this up. I'd rather have the covers being bigger than the spine. So if we go 7 3/4 for the cover, I think that'll be better. Then I can put like bigger pockets on the cover or something. I don't know. I knew I was going to change my mind. And then I'll probably regret it because it'll probably be so bulky on the inside that I'll have needed that spine space. But right now, I just can't wrap my head around it being that bulky. So let's change that. That does not look even at all. 2 1/4. And this is 2 1/2. Let's make this 2 1/2 too. All right, that's more reasonable. 2 3/4 inch for the spine. I can live with that. Now, what's next? I need to cover it. I do not want to use all of my felt to cover this. I do have some batting, but I don't know that I want to use that either. I guess I could on the outside and then just do something different on the inside. Let's see what I can come up with. I've decided to do like a mixed media collage cover. So I have these papers left over from when I did the grunge envelopes. So I figured I would kind of tear these maybe into quarters and start with these. I have this paper that I made a while ago with sprays, and it's just packing paper. I think it was something I got from IKEA, and the paper that was like in between the pieces, and I sprayed a bunch of that. So I have that, and then I have the new napkins that I got from Temu. I think I could use that, and maybe this one in some way. I think this one is better. It's just that I would have to deal with text, and I think if I do it like this, it's all going in the same direction, so it should be okay. So I may end up just using a couple of these or pieces of this. So that's where I'm at right now. So this is going to be a collage mission, and I'm just going to go ahead and get started. All right, so I have a little left here. What I did when I made my DIY, when I made my DIY Mod Podge this time, and for some reason it's really separating this time. I hope this is good. But yeah, when I made it this time, I put it back into the squirt bottle. So I'm going to use the rest of this, and then I'll just have some in the squirt bottle to use. So there's that. Let's go ahead and just, I guess, tear some of these into pieces. And what I want to make sure of is that I have plenty to go over the spine and possibly over the edge. Why was I trying to tear that way? And I may have to just mix in some that are not coffee stained. Okay, because I really don't think this is enough to cover this. So I am going to have to supplement. And let's make sure we are on the correct side, which is this side. Before I knew I was going to use these, I torn just some regular pages. So I'm going to start with those on the spine. And then I'm just going to go over so that I can fold this over the edge as well. Let's do the ragged edge. So let's start here. And I hope this is going to stick. Smells horrible. Okay, so this is where we are. And hopefully everything will stay down. And then we will come back and fold the other pieces around the edge. So this is mostly dry. I have a few wet areas, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over and start folding this over. Hopefully this will work well. And I may end up stitching around the edges, but let me go ahead and miter the corners too a little bit. That's done. I want to let that dry up, and I may come in with a little bit of my washi tape and touch up some areas. So I am back. I have done a little bit more on the Amazon packaging junk journal cover. I went ahead and added this fabric in these pockets. The pockets were from an offcut or scrap from something else I've been working on, and the fabric was fabric from my stash that I've had for a while, and it just was a neutral color, which is kind of what I wanted for the inside. Now, I did not back the fabric. There's no batting, there's no felt, nothing in between. I probably should have, but I didn't. I just kind of glued it down and stitched it, and I didn't do a very good job of gluing, but I mean, this is what it is. So this is what the cover looks like with the stitching. Had a little issue with it, but it's fine. It's a junk journal, kind of. It's a form of a junk journal. So for this, I want to have 3 cluster books. The cluster books are something that Shabby Dabby Doodah came up with. I think she used double-sided paper, but I'm using single-sided paper because I have limited supplies of double-sided paper, and I don't want to use it all for something like this, and where one side is going to be glued down and you won't see it anyway. So I'm sticking with single-sided, which means I'll have pages that are white, but that's fine. When I make the clusters, this side of the paper will be glued down and you won't even see it. So, all right. So I'm doing 3 books. Then I'm going to have a couple other books and maybe something in these pockets that will have ephemera, die cuts, things like that. But for now, I'm just going to work on the cluster part. And I think I want to have 5 pages per book, 3 books. One book is going to be vintage or just general, maybe botanical type things. This is the paper. My bracelet got hung. This is the paper that I chose. These are just from random paper pads. Some of my not so favorite papers or papers that were stragglers and leftovers that I wanted to go ahead and use. So that is vintage, general, botanical type things. This one, believe it or not, will be for Christmas. Okay, so I've gone through my Christmas paper pads and I didn't find any papers that I really wanted to use. I didn't really want to use something that said Christmas or winter. So I'm thinking whatever I use to build a cluster will say that. Okay. So I can pretty much use any close to Christmas color. So this would be like maybe for a pink Christmas. I would have clusters on here that I could use for a pink Christmas. This would be more traditional. Even though I don't think this came out of Christmas book, it might have. So I still need 3 more pages for this one. I'm going to have to hit up just my general paper pads to fill this one out. This one I'm going to use for Halloween. So again, no Halloween specific papers in here. I'm just going to have to make whatever I build the clusters with say Halloween, this paper. So I think I need 1 more sheet for this one. So I'm going to go and find some more papers to fill these out. So I just need 4 more sheets and I should be good. And this is how they will be in this book. And they fit in there nicely like that. I have a lot of extra room here. Not sure what I'm going to do for a closure, but I am going to put eyelets. And I hate to use that much elastic. I probably won't use elastic now that I think of it, because I don't want to use all my elastic. That's a lot. What can I use instead? I actually could stitch these in, but I want them to be able to come out. So I'm not going to stitch them. I'm going to figure out a way to bind them. Maybe I can use traditional brads to bind it. I think I could do that. So that would mean punching a hole. I could probably just do 4 holes in the middle. And I may end up turning some of these papers around too. But I'll go ahead and fill out these notebooks and then I'll be back. Alrighty, so these are the papers that I pulled. And I'm just going to go ahead and fold them and then decide where to put them. I think this one can go in Christmas so we can get a winter vibe, and I'm going to fold it this way. So here, I guess the light green is this one. I guess I'll do that one as, I have a lot of green in this one. Let me see. So we got winter, pink Christmas, regular Christmas, maybe a vintage Christmas. I have no red in here. And then maybe more modern. I don't know. Then this one, Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Let's put this here. Break up the green. And then this. I don't know how I'm going to turn this into Halloween, but we'll see. All right. Now I need to decide what's going to be on the outside. Oh, I forgot a piece. This is Christmas. Hold on, I might be able to use something different for Christmas. Oh, that paper cracked. I'm gonna take this out. Now I think we're ready. Those are going in there, and I have plenty of room to grow. Let's make our holes. I'm gonna set these aside and start the measuring. Oh, that needs to be glued down. It's coming up. I know those holes are not in exactly the right place, but let's see what we can do. I don't think these are long enough. Okay, let's see. This hole is not quite in the right place, but let's see if we can make it work. Okay. I don't think these are gonna hold. Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about these. They are kind of small. So I'm gonna have to think about it a little bit more and decide what I want to do for the binding. Okay, so here we go. This is what the cover is looking like. I chose this bright blue ribbon to bind it with instead of elastic, because I didn't want to use all my elastic and I have an excess of ribbon, so I thought this would be good. Now looking at it, I think the ribbon is entirely too bright for this. I was going for a way to pull the blue in on the butterflies and the florals. So, and I'm holding it this way because if I hold it this way, you won't be able to see everything. I like it, but it is fairly large, as I've mentioned repeatedly. But I just want to show you the details. So I use some light blue eyelets that I had in my stash that I probably wouldn't have used for anything else. And again, I'm not sure about the ribbon, but I chose to use the ribbon instead of elastic. And also the brads were too short that I had. So I think the ribbon works fine, and then I can always easily just take this out, tie the ribbon for each booklet. So in the pockets, I think I'm going to make some type of folio. This was like an extra piece of 12 by 12. So I think I'm going to make some type of folio. I'll have to figure out what it will be to hold some type of ephemera, and they may be turned into a booklet itself as long as it can fit in this pocket. But this is how it's turned out. So now I need to get on making the different clusters. And since I started working on this, I wasn't so sure that I wanted to actually do clusters. So I'm still kind of on the fence about that. If I want to do clusters, or do I want to actually turn this into a full-fledged junk journal? I'm not sure. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, should I change this ribbon? I think maybe a nice light green would be good too, to pull the green out, because this blue is just too vibrant as compared to the blue that's on the cover, and it's not even really any blue on the back. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. But that is how you can take an Amazon package and turn it into a cover for a junk journal. And your journal cover doesn't have to be so junky. I just kind of wanted to do mixed media and play around with my supplies. So again, let me know what you think. I think it turned out really nice. I just need to decide how I want to use it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll holler at y'all next time. Bye.